Hi guys, and welcome back to Reads Readers with your host, Clinton Reed. And as you can see, the title of the video, this is my third recommendations video. This is for books that are white. Why it gotta be white? They're gonna be as white as snow. And I have, like I have had in the last two, 5 recommendations. In this one I have 3 that I've read and 2 that I haven't. Granted, white was super hard because I've read quite a bit of our white. So, like I said again, comment down below if you have any recommendations that are of white queer books. Comment them down below, especially if they're more diverse and more. And I realized our white books, I don't own any that are female-female. If you know of a female-female book that is white, a sapphic book that's white, comment that down below because I don't have one. And I find that really strange. Let's just get into the recommendations. And this first book, how could I not do a white? How could I do white without recommending All for the Game series by Nora Safegic, book 1 being The Foxhole Court. This is one of my all-time favorite series. I'm just going to give y'all like a couple of bullet points because I have talked about this series in a lot of videos. This follows Neil Johnston, who's on the run from his father, who's a murderous crime lord known as the Butcher. This has a sports romance. It's queer, but the queer romance in this is very, very, very slow burn. Don't expect a kiss until halfway towards the end of book 3. And it's one of those, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you and then I'm gonna make out with you. It's very one of those. But I love them so much. I will also say this is a mafia book. So look up trigger warnings and stuff like that. And this is sports because they play a sport called XC, which to me is like rugby and hockey and field hockey and lacrosse. Like had a baby and put them on ice. Yeah. But this book is amazing. I just was so engrossed. I don't think I've been as pissed off with a character in a book like I have been with this series. Oh my god. Like, pissed off in a way of, I just want to bitch slap you. Just kiss the fucker already. Tell him you love him. Fuck. Fucking dudes. But yes, I highly recommend the All for the Game series. This next one I just recently read because it just recently came out a couple weeks ago. And that is Never Been Kissed by Timothy Jonaveski. Which, it sits in our white due to the spine has mostly white. So where it sits, the bottom part's covered anyways. So it's more of a white spine. Because I know it's got a lot of this like seafoamy blue on it, but this, I hold this one almost at the same level as Red, White, and Royal Blue and Boyfriend Material and a few others. It's almost at that level. I'm still debating before I film my favorites list on if this is going to knock a book off my list, because it might. This book follows Rin and Derek. Rin, who has never been kissed before, in college, about to graduate college, and every year he works at a... Does it have the name of the place? It doesn't have the name of the place. But he works at a drive-in theater. He's worked there for 8 years. He's about to go home and be a manager for the place. And before he goes, he accidentally, while he's drunk, he has these letters and emails and stuff that he typed up of all of his almost kisses, and his drunk self decides to send them. And he accidentally sent one to his former best friend, Derek. Enters Derek, who is like, I don't like you that way, blah, 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 type of thing. But this is the story of how they fall in love. And this also involves a woman who was one of the very first women to ever direct a film. And he's trying to get her film that was never did a debut because of how she was treated, played at this drive-in theater to save it. And you learn more about her story, their story, and how they all like parallel and help each other. This book literally is if Jenny Han oh god, with the letters, brain, Laura Jean, Forever Always Your Laura Jean. I can't think of the name of that series. Comment down below. I'm being an idiot right now. I just literally can't think of it. But it's literally that meets like Red, White, and Royal Blue type vibes. And this is an adult rom-com, and this follows quite a bit of different sexualities, from bisexuality to queerness to demisexual to, like, there's a lot of different types of conversations when it comes to sex. And this book is just everything I needed, and it's just so adorable. And yeah, it's up there with Boyfriend Material and Red, White, and Royal Blue. And I know there's supposed to be another book set in this world, and I cannot wait. Just the name of that book, Laura Jean, was made into movies. Letters. I don't own the books anymore. I just recently unhauled them, or I would look over at the bookcase. Those are really good too, but they're not queer. But yeah, I highly, 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 highly recommend this, and I cannot wait for his next book, You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince, which is supposed to come out later this year. I feel like Timothy may become an auto-author for me. He may get put on a list with like Casey McQueston, but I have to read at least 2 or more of his books before I can determine that. So I am super excited for more people to read that. Next queer book I have for you guys is one that I don't see a lot of people talking about anymore. When did this book come out? In 2019, and I feel like more people need to experience this book. This isn't a 5-star read for me, but it's still one that I still think about today. And that is You Asked for Perfect by Laura Silverman. And this follows Ariel Stone and Amir, both Jewish men who are, Ariel hires Amir to be their tutor because they failed the calculus quiz, and it's just their story and how they fall in love. And it's just so adorable, so relatable, so, because Ariel feels like he has to be perfect, to be that perfect child. It's, senior Ariel Stone has spent his life cultivating the perfect college resume. First chair violinist, dedicated volunteer, active synagogue. He actively goes to the synagogue. An expected valedictorian. He barely has time to think about a social life, let alone a relationship, until a failed calculus quiz puts his future on the line. And that's when he hires Amir as a tutor. But this was just so cute and adorable, and I feel like more people need to know about this book. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this book, especially if you're looking for something with a slightly different background aesthetic. This goes more, I'm not Jewish, so I can't talk about the representation in it, if it's good or not, but I do, if you're looking for something set with a different cultural background than your own, this would be a really good one to do as well. Now, the last two white books I have are books that I have not read. And yes, I know that one actually doesn't really look white, but it looks like a sheet of paper to me. But the next one I have for you guys is the Passing Playbook by Isaac Fitzsimmons. All I know about this one is that it involves soccer and a trans main character, because they switch schools and they no longer have to be the trans student, they can just be queer. That's literally all I know, and that's all I really want to know going into it. But I know Kaylani really loved this, and so did Sterling. So I cannot wait to read this. And as y'all saw on my 5-star predictions list, this is one of the few that's on it that I put onto these. But I highly, if you're looking for a black trans main character who plays soccer. I'm excited. And last of the white goes to As Far As You'll Take Me by Phil Stamper. All I know about this book is it's about a boy who travels to London. From outside, Marty's life looks like a perfect fantasy. In the span of a few weeks, he has made new friends. He's getting closer with his first ever boyfriend, and he's even traveling around Europe. But Marty knows he can't keep up the facade. He hasn't spoken to his parents since he arrived. He's tearing through his meager savings. His homesickness and anxiety are getting worse and worse, and he hasn't even came close to landing the job of his dreams. Will Marty be able to find a place that feels like home? And I am super excited because I love Phil Stamper as a human being, and I loved his book, Gravity of Us. So I highly cannot wait to read this, and I know Phil Stamper is one of Sterling's auto-buy authors. But those are your white recommendations for Pride. After this, we get back into color. Love color. And I cannot wait for red. Red's gonna be fun, so stay tuned for that. And if you're new, you might as well hit that subscribe because you want to know what's in the next color. Don't ya? 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 I've lost my mind. But again, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. Again, comment down below with any recommendations you guys have of white books, especially if they're sapphic, because we don't have a single one. And I can't think of a single one off the top of my head. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Remember, kids, always be a fabulously yourself. Oh boy!